doing a lot of talking, but I just wanted to say the reason why I picked the picture on my banner and the book saying a place to belong is because I want people to be able to be who they authentically are on here. And I also want people not to feel like they are judged for anything, beliefs, or any kind of anything that they're going through, but that they just can belong somewhere, like here. So just like I wanted to tell you, the sun is starting to go down and it's literally 4:30 and the sun's going down, but that's okay. I love Canada because I actually love winter so much. A lot of Canadians are like, I hate winter, blah blah blah. Well, it's like happens every year. Why are you shocked? What are your feelings about medication? And as in medication that's prescribed by your doctor, like for your mental health, like antidepressants, benzos, those kind of things, because I struggle with insomnia and I have a med for that, because if I didn't take it I would not sleep. So if you were asking me, 2019 Emily would say, no way Jose, I'm not taking medication, but to keep my seizures at bay I have to take them. The reason why, my antidepressants, the reason why I have non-epileptic seizures, which in turn, which you already know because I talk about so much, but it's because they are due with a stressor in your life. And if you have a stress in your life that impedes on your anxiety, and either your anxiety or depression. For me, reading scripture also does really help eliminate those things, those depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, all those things. So medication also is a factor in, but I know a lot of Christians are against medication, which I used to be like that, but for me, the only reason why I do have medication is for that reason. So I don't have more seizures and that my life can go on as normal. Maybe like God will, and I do pray that God will take those things away so I don't have to take those anymore. So then the other thing I thought of, which was interesting, I wanted to talk about is tattoos. So I was totally against them. Growing up, we were told, we weren't really told not to or anything. We really had no restrictions on anything growing up. But for me, in my morals as a Christian, I always thought that you weren't supposed to get tattoos, you weren't allowed, or God didn't want you to get a tattoo. So for me, the only reason why I have this one, I know I actually can see it because on my hip/stomach. Because I struggled with eating disorder really, really badly, extremely badly, for 10 years. For me, I think it was the best thing because I was already in a year of recovery. And I had to just because I was still stumbling, but I had to keep reminding myself that I was in it for God and is necessary for our human bodies. Obviously. So eating disorders are the most deadly or lethal. I'm trying to find a better word, and I have a better word, but I can't really think of it because it's a struggle you're going through. So think of it as something you are going through, not that you are that. I am not an eating disorder. I'm Emily. Back of this footage, I'm so sorry. My shot's just out of focus because I don't have a viewfinder, so I'm sorry. I'll see you at the next little free library. No, this is just for me. Like, I'm no expert in anything that I send this video. For me, to get out either a reading slump, or if you're a new beginner to reading and you want to actually read and you'll keep saying, oh, I want to read, is to read something that you have found fascinating from any media. I don't have social media, but I know there's TikTok on there. If there's something like that, or if something fascinates you that someone's talking about, just something like that that really like piques your interest and that you've heard over and over again, like multiple reviews on, and just to start from there. And do not give yourself a set time. I think that's the worst, because if you give yourself a deadline, then I feel like you're not actually going to accomplish it, because you're giving yourself too much pressure. Other thing, if you're in a reading slump, I think the biggest thing is to read something that is familiar to you. So do a reread. Yeah, so I usually clean my books with, okay, it's actually not this, but it's Thrives, and it's a natural, no cruelty-free product, and it's actually just in this different bottle. So because, since the pandemic, I've been a little germophobia-ish. So yeah, I usually spray it and then I just let it down. So this one, to go volunteer with, it's called Rainbows, and it's to help kids that experience grief in their life, and just to work through workbooks. And yeah, so I'm one of the facilitators, and it's really fun. To go volunteer with, it's called Rainbows, and it's to help kids that experience grief in their life, and just to work through workbooks. And yeah, so I'm one of the facilitators, and it's really fun. So, and I also teach Sunbeams, so they're like between the ages of 3 to 5, and they're right up my alley because that's like around the preschool age. So I love it so much. I just came back from Rainbows, and I am just learning so much from the kids because of their life experiences that they've gone through grief, and I'm really excited to keep on with this journey with them, and just to have empathy and understanding of what they're really going through. I've been doing it for around 2 years, and I love it. Like, I suggest you, if you have it in your country, it's called Rainbows for Giving Children. These are the books that I got from the little free library, and I'm gonna try to hold them up. We'll see how it goes. So what happens. Okay, books I got from the little free libraries. So I'm gonna go, I do have middle grade, I have Christian, I have mystery, self-help, historical fiction even, other ones, and short stories. I do have one dystopian. I have contemporary literary fiction. So first, The Last Leopard. So The Last Leopard is fantasy, and it's middle grade adventure kind of book. So I thought it was cute. So first I'm going to start off with middle grade. So this one's Skating with the Statue of Liberty. And I keep seeing this in local libraries, and I thought that this would be kind of like a book. It's a 12-year-old Jewish boy has made it to America at last after escaping with his family from the Nazis. Middle grade, it also says World War II, historical, and it's historical fiction as well, but it is middle grade, so I just wanted to put in that section. So this one is another middle grade, and this is The Forbidden Stone, which actually I'm pretty sure this is the first book in the series. Some books I got that are too many, like, I don't know, like the second or third book in the series. So this one is the first book in the series, and it's a middle grade fantasy, adventure, mystery, young adult, children. It all begins when receives a strange code email from his uncle Henry. So these actually are a collection of short stories by a whole bunch of different authors. The reason I actually wanted to get it was because of the Terry Blackstock book, or the short story, because I have read all the books. But yeah, so that's the why I got this, and it's called The Storytellers. And there's also, this is the second one in the collection, and then there's also, it's called Tales of Faraway Places. So that, and then, so Beth Moore, I've always had a dear place in my heart for Beth Moore. Mostly I've been, really when I was little, that's all I read. I didn't really know any Christian authors. And yeah, so this one is Praying God's Word, Breaking Free from Spiritual Strongholds. So yeah, I haven't read this one yet. So then the next books are going to be mystery thriller books. So The Boy Who Saw. So this one is about, he is at a tailor, is murdered in his shop, and the killer leaves a cryptic message scrolled on the wall. Look at the cover. Wow. So Sandra Brown, The Switch. So first I thought, judging by the book cover, I thought it was just like they were switched at birth or whatever, but it kind of is, but it's also mystery too. So there's a lot of things that they talk about. I remember when I picked it up, they talked about how they never switched places since they've been children. So Melanie proposes that Jillian take her place as a media editor to navigate an astronomical chef. Part she refuses at first, but the following morning Melanie receives terrible news. So the next one is same genre, mystery. So it says on Goodreads, it says mystery, fiction, thriller, crime, mystery thriller, and suspense. So The Forgotten Girl. I actually didn't read anything on the back. No, I'm going to go into it. So now we're going to talk about historical fiction. So Water for Elephants, I have read like a very, very long time ago, because I had to reread that. Now we're going to talk about historical fiction. So Water for Elephants, I have read like a very, very long time ago, because I had to reread that. So the next is also historical fiction, and this is called Giver of Stars. And I honestly don't remember what it also.
Penguins are a group of aquatic flightless birds. They live almost exclusively in the southern hemisphere.
Alexa, stop. I didn't even say Alexa. Life. Okay. It's also romance, so I don't know if I'm gonna read it all. Sorry. I don't know. We'll see. I'll see how far I get. I will see. I'll read up to page. I'm going to push myself and read up to page probably like 80, and then if I'm not interested, then I'll just do that. Caleb's Crossing. So this book is fiction adult. That's what it just says on Goodreads. So yeah, I think this book, I don't know, I'm going to try it out. I don't know, I might not like it, but I don't know. Well, I don't want to go into like thinking like that, but I'm going to try first few chapters and we'll see. I also have 2 contemporary books, which I don't really read contemporary. So 5-Star Billionaire, contemporary Asian literature, and literature fiction. Phoebe is a factory girl who has come to Shanghai with the promise of a job, but when she arrives, she discovers that job doesn't exist. And The Tempest by William Shakespeare. I don't know. I haven't really, like in high school, we never really read Shakespeare or that kind of thing. Like for my I don't know, grade 11 and 12, we read The Hunger Games. They're very much towards romance, but this one says fantasy, school, theater, drama, classic. I don't know, so we'll see. The next Strange Paradise. So this book is also, Canadian, which is cool, and political novel. More bodies have washed up on shores of a small island. I'm going to the book now. I like that. Then I got dystopian book. So the dystopian book is End of the Day. So this is like kind of like a doomsday kind of type of vibe. That's totally up my alley. So this is science fiction, dystopian, apocalyptic, and it's also, I didn't know he was a Canadian author, Eric Walters, so that's interesting. The next one is my grandmother's hands, racialized trauma and the pathway to mending her Hearts and Bodies, to examine white body supremacy in America from the perspective of trauma and body-centered psychology. And also, you know, it's people that are actually like licensed, like MS, W and LICS, because I know what that is. It's master's in social work. Oh, and there's like little homework things, body practices, like little homework. Manitou. So it's also by Eric Walters. I want to bring this in for my kids, for my preschool kids, because we always seem not to have enough books. So I really like how this book has very good illustrations, as in this book is also, because he's Canadian, is an African. So these kids are like, where I work, the kids are very much Caucasian dominant. Also my supervisor wants to implement a lot of multicultural and diversity in our classrooms. So yeah, so I really like these illustrations. I will talk to you.